everybody. Welcome to another chapter of the Book of Sean. It's good to see you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Got a great show for you. We're going to have a good time, I'm telling you. We're going to do some Ask Dr. Sean. We're going to do some headlines. My sister Deidre is here, and she's a blessed sister who, in her 50s, doing a little dating. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just saying, shout out to everybody in their 50s because, folks in their 50s want love too. And for all you people in your 20s and your 30s, I got some news for you. You ain't going to be 30 forever. You might want to watch this show so you can figure out how you're going to make this work. Listen, when the older you get and the more you move down the journey of life, what you're willing to accept changes. How you're willing to invite people in is different. What you're willing to accept at 18 better not be what you're willing to accept at 50. You follow what I'm saying? I want to help Deidre figure it all out because it can be confusing out there when you know who you are and you know what you want, but you keep finding people who may not be congruent to all of that. Well, I want her to have all the love she deserves and all the love she can stand. I want Deidre to have more love than she can handle. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want for you too. I want people just to find love. I'm the love guy 2-3. So we're gonna help Deidre. We're gonna help you. Let's do some headlines right now. So shout out to my dear sister, Megan Thee Stallion. She's officially a college graduate. She graduated from Texas Southern University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Health Administration. And shout out to her. It is so important that our sisters see and hear us celebrating them and know that they can get validation from something other than just shaking their behind. You know what I'm saying? So Megan Thee Stallion, we celebrate you, sister. Great job. I bet very few people even knew you were trying to get a college degree, right? But here she is, and her degree is in health administration. Health administration has nothing to do with what she does for a living, but it proves her complexity, right? It proves that she is a complex human being, that she can be a multi-Grammy, platinum, million-dollar artist who has this other side, this other interest. So you see, just because you see people all the time on television doesn't mean that you know anything about them. Just because you hear their music every single day of your life doesn't mean that you have them all figured out. Here's my word to you. Give people a chance to surprise you. Because when I told you that Megan Thee Stallion just earned her college degree, that surprised you. You were not expecting that. Because we don't expect her to be, Megan Thee Stallion in college education. Yes. Give people a chance to surprise you. I'm sure there are a lot of people in her life who said to her, why are you wasting your time getting this degree? Why are you doing this? You make millions of dollars doing music and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Well, why are you trying to get a college degree when you already have a job? Okay, first let me say this. College degrees are not for jobs, silly rabbits. You don't get an education to get a job. Silly rabbit. That's not what education is for. Education is for the purposes of reaching the parts of you that can only be reached by education. The purpose of education is to wake you up. Huh? You listening over there? Purpose of education, I'm talking to 2-3. Purpose of education is to wake you up because there are parts of you that will stay asleep if you don't encounter new ideas and books and radical theories and thinkers who shake you from center to circumference. That's the purpose of education, not to get a damn job. If you went to college just to get a job, you wasted your money. Clearly, Megan Thee Stallion understands the purpose of education. She already got a job. She's making more money than anybody in that college. She could buy the college. But she didn't go there for that. She went there rather to make sure that the parts of her that can only be accessed through education come alive. Here's the wisdom. Do what makes you happy, even if other people don't understand it. Do the things that bring you joy, even if everybody else in your life doesn't understand what the hell you're doing. You don't need them to understand in order for you to feel good about what you're doing. Do it. If it brings you joy and makes you happy, then you get to the business of doing the things that brings you joy and make you happy. You see, some things you should do for you and not for anybody else. Megan Thee Stallion got this degree for her. It's what she wanted to do. So she did it. Huh? Let them talk and let them laugh and let them not understand. You go forward and you do the things that you know bring you the joy you deserve. So shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, college graduate. Yeah. Let's do another headline. Chris Wallace, as you guys heard this weekend, recently announced that he's leaving Fox News. And Wallace has been with Fox News for 18 years. And finally, you follow what I'm saying? He's finally decided that he's had enough. And this is a major loss for Fox News because Chris Wallace was an adult. He was a journalist. Unlike the nuts over there on Fox News, Chris Wallace was an actual journalist. You know? So here's the first thing. Expect more crazy from Fox News because you know what happens when you leave the insane asylum with just insane people. It gets more insane. So now that Chris is gone, right? Chris Wallace is gone, you can expect more craziness from Fox News because it's one less sane person over there. You know what, 2, 3, if I worked for Fox News, I would have great ratings. Let me tell you why. Because people will watch my show just to be mad. If I had a show on Fox News, I would piss the audience off every single night. People would watch my show just to call me the N-word. Because you know that's what they do over there. People would watch my show just to call me the N-word because I would have black guests every night, just black guests on Fox News every night. I'd have good ratings, I'm telling you, because people like to watch stuff that makes them mad. And I'd be making people mad over there. But here's the real thing. Here's the wisdom. You know, Chris Wallace leaves Fox News, and what it teaches us is that money ain't everything. Is that at a certain point, your dignity decides. At a certain point, you have to let your dignity decide what you're going to do about this. And what he decided was that money was not everything. Listen, when you're done, you're done. You know what I'm saying? When you're done with something, let yourself be done with it. Don't sit around and try to convince yourself that you're not done when you know in your heart and in your mind that your dignity has been compromised one too many times. And if you don't have a line in the sand, if you don't have a line or a border or a boundary, then there's not something wrong with the people who are hurting you. There's something wrong with you. You got to have a line in the sand. And you got to say to somebody, the way Chris said to Fox News, I can't do this no more. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has the right to be able to tell somebody or something in their life, I can't do this no more. And when you don't do that, you hurt yourself. You know, sometimes you got to walk away to save your life, to save your own life, to save your own dignity. And you need to save your life because nobody's coming along to save it for you. Please hear me when I tell you, there are too many people talking themselves into staying in some things that they know they should have left a long time ago. What did Jesus say, 2, 3? I know you ain't saved, but maybe you've heard it. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall what? Set you free. All right, 2, 3 knows it. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself enough to know that if you have to start over, like Chris Wallace, you can. If you have to start over in a new place, you can. Don't be scared to walk away. Matter of fact, have the opposite problem. Let's do another headline. This is a really great story that I saw over the weekend. We all heard about the tornadoes that hit the middle of the country in Kentucky and in Arkansas. And there was a particular tornado that hit in Arkansas. And in a nursing home, workers in the nursing home put their bodies on the line to help save the lives of the people, the elderly people who live there. Did you hear what I just said? There was a tornado coming through a certain town in Arkansas, and workers in this little nursing home saw that the tornado was coming, and they literally put their bodies, they put everybody in a little common room, and they laid over. They put their bodies over the vulnerable bodies of the elderly men and women who live there. And I love this story so much because this is the best of the human spirit. To have people who could have run for shelter, who could have gotten out of there and taken care of themselves, they decided that they would rather put their bodies on the line to make sure that vulnerable people were going to be okay. Human beings can be really stupid sometimes, and you guys know, I'll call out our stupidity quicker than anybody else. Human beings can be really stupid, but sometimes we can be glorious creatures, and this story is an example of the glory of our humanity. Let's say it again. They shielded them with their bodies. They put their bodies in front of the glass and the falling debris and the steel. People ask me all the time, Dr. Sean, how do I know it's love? Dr. Sean, how do I know she loves me? How do I know he loves me? I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how you know if somebody loves you. It's love when somebody's willing to put the best of them on the line for you. It's love when somebody's willing to sacrifice the best of their time, the best of their attention, the best of their space, the best of their resources for you. When they're willing to protect you from the storm. Let's go back to Jesus 2:3. What did he say? No greater love than this, than that a man should lay down his life for his friends. And you know it's love when you have people in your life who are constantly wanting you to survive, who are doing what it takes to make sure that you're still here. You see, there are people in your life right now who sacrifice their time for you, their comfort for you, their money for you, and their own dreams for you. They did it for you because just like these people in this nursing home, they wanted to protect you from the storm. They did it so that you would survive. Here's what I want to say about this. Look at me. Look me in my eye and receive this. You have been loved. I don't care what else you've been in this world. I don't care what else the world has done to you. The one thing I know for sure is that you have been loved. Somebody laid on your life. They laid their love on your life and protected you from the storm because that's how valuable you are. And don't you ever forget it. Now, the way you say thank you for somebody laying their lives on the line for you is you stick your chest back out and you lift your head up and you straighten up those shoulders and wipe them tears out of your eyes. And when hell comes to get you and life comes to assault you, you just tell everything that doesn't want you to be here, it doesn't matter, because I'm still loved. Woo! I feel like running around this studio. All right, let me do my last one real quick before I bring out Deidre. You guys know I always do, we do Ask Dr. Sean every week, but sometimes I stop and I give you a question, because you guys send me questions all the time, but sometimes I like to send you questions, and so we call it, you ready for it? Today's moral question. Today's moral question today. Okay, this is not a question for me. This is the question I'm asking you, and give me the answer in the chat. Let us know on the app or in YouTube or however you're watching. Email us. I don't care how you do it. Send me a pigeon, smoke signal, whatever it is. DM us. Let me know what your answer to this question is. All right, here it is. So in Spain, there's a Catholic bishop who was removed from being a bishop. Check this out, because he married a woman who writes satanic erotic novels. This is a true story. There's a Catholic bishop. That's him. That's him right there. That's him. He married a woman who writes satanic. First of all, what are satanic erotic novels? I don't even know what that is. And the more I think, what is it, having sex with the devil? Is that what that is? And if that's the case, there's people in this room, I'm looking at them, who knows a lot about satanic erotic novels. Not me, because I'm holy. This one over here. Anyway, so this Catholic bishop, he married a woman who writes satanic erotic novels. And they defrocked him, all right? Because when you're a Catholic priest or bishop, you have to be celibate. We all know what celibacy is, right? It means you can't have no nookie. You don't get to have sex. No monkey sex. Celibacy. Now, here's the thing, though. Celibacy didn't start in the Catholic Church until 1139, right? Which means that for 882 years, Catholic priests and nuns could have sex. They could get married, right? Because, it wasn't always the case. So in 1139, celibacy started. Here's today's moral question. Should Catholic priests and nuns be allowed to get married and have healthy sex? Because apparently they're having sex, it just ain't healthy. It's dysfunctional and crazy. Especially if you're marrying people writing satanic erotic novels and you're a bishop. So here's today's moral question. Should Catholic priests and nuns be allowed to get married? What do you think about that? Let me know. That's my question for you. I want to hear what your answers are to that question. All right? Let us know in the chat. Listen, everybody, when we come back, we're going to talk to Deidre. We're going to talk about dating at a certain stage of life. Listen, I don't care what age you are. Dating will drive you to drinking. So we're going to help Deidre. We're going to help you. We're going to do some Ask Dr. Sean. We'll be right back, right after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back. So listen, Deidre's here tonight. She is a blessed, beautiful sister, right? Out there trying to make it happen. Love, relationship, romance. How do you do it when you're not at the stage of life that you were when you started this journey? Well, if you're not there yet, you're going to be. Just welcome to the show, Deirdre. Hey, Deirdre.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Listen, so before we get into the whole dating, thingamajiggamahiggamahiggamariggamarole, you're not gonna laugh at that, Deirdre? That's what I need. Like we're not
The
gonna
jiggamajiggamajiggamarole.
Yeah, I'm like, if you ain't gonna laugh at my jokes, get off.
Okay, I'm straight. You got me straight.
There we go. Before we do all of that, I just want to ask you just some random questions just to get to know your heart, your mind, your soul.
Okay,
Here's my
let's go.
first one. Tell me the story of how you met your best friend.
We were in nursery school together. Me and Evelyn. Evelyn was my best friend. We were like, I think we were turning like 4 years old, and we met in nursery school, Kitty Corral. That's how we met. And we ended up living down the street. And from there, we went to nursery school, elementary school together, junior high school, and then high school together. And that was it. We didn't go to college together.
Are you serious? So you've known your best friend since you were in nursery school?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's impressive, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
No, because that tells me a lot about you, that you can hold on to a relationship that long, and that person is still in your life. Okay, you're starting off really good. Just so you know, you're starting off really good. All right, so give me the narrative behind your best experience in 2021.
My best experience in 2021, I will say, was getting the opportunity to take a trip back to New York to go see my girlfriend get married. One of my other good girlfriends, she got married this year. And also taking a trip by myself to Mexico. Because of the COVID and transitioning with my life, coming from New York and moving back here to California, things have been quite, different and challenging at the same time. And although I'm very grateful, I will say that this year it was, I was able to just take some time for myself and, go and enjoy myself back in New York, because I miss New York. Love California, definitely love New York, but I definitely miss New York a lot.
Listen, I'm from New York as well, born and raised in New York, and currently in Cal. So I totally relate to the New York feel of it all. But listening to you makes me want to ask you, what did 2021 teach you? I know it's not over yet, but thus far, what has it taught you?
It taught me a lot about time, more or less about time. I've always known about time, but I think 2021 really gave me some, perspective on time and how to value your time and how to make your time mean something.
That's rich. That's rich. And to which I would also add that he or she who does not value time will not just waste it, but will lose it a lot sooner than you think you will. And that's a great wisdom. So let's sort of turn into why you're here tonight, because I think you represent so many people, right? So many of us, who are single and dating or wanting to date, but you're not like this guy over here, 15. He's not 15, but young. You're not young anymore. You've lived a little, you've had some life experiences. And I want to begin with one of those experiences. If I understand it correctly, after your last relationship, something happened to you or to you emotionally or psychologically. Explain to everybody what happened to you. What sort of transition or transformation happened in you after your last relationship?
I started to really just pay attention to what men say. I think most women, we don't understand what that really, really means until we get a little bit older. Um, I really started to really pay attention to what men say. It's not what I thought they said. It's not what it's not what it felt like they said. It's what they say and what they do. And so you have to pay attention to that. So if he is intentional and he's intentional with his intentions, then you will know that based on his actions and by what he tells you. And so those are the things that made me really pay attention more. I think there was a point in my life where I really didn't pay attention to that. I did, but didn't. Now I really get it.
How did your last relationship teach you that wisdom?
When someone tells you that they, just based on their actions, when you see the level of effort that's not being given, being in a relationship where you're reciprocating, treating each other with urgency. I felt like once I saw that I felt that he didn't treat me as urgently as he should, as I felt he should. And I felt that I treated him very urgent, but he didn't do the same for me. And so it's like you can say to a person, oh, well, people aren't going to do exactly what you do. That's not what I asked. I wasn't asking him to do what I do. But when it's mutual, you know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you feel it. You feel it. You see it. So I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't feeling it. That's why I verbalized it.
Can you give me an example of it not being mutual?
I can say like when it would come to little things, like, he had two children. He was divorced and had two children. And when his kids came, he always was very like on top of making sure that we had food, grocery shop, paid for groceries, just kind of when I did everything that he didn't do when they weren't here. Pretty much. If that makes any sense.
Perfect sense.
That I saw that really, like, a light bulb went out for me with that one. It was like, so when your daughters get here, you want to show them that you're just on, that you're just this attentive person. When they're not here, you don't do those things. And I'm here.
Right. You're there when they're not there, and that behavior leaves and dissipates when it should be consistent. No, that's a lot of. Listen, there are a lot of people right now watching, who need to get the wisdom and to get the alert or the red flag that you just gave us, because you're right. You watch people and you watch them closely enough. If you listen carefully enough, you will discover what they are really saying. We could talk about that for an hour, but I'm gonna resist. I'm gonna resist the urge.
I know we get all into that.
Yeah, but it's rich and it's real. But here's the thing, though, because I think you represent so many people in this way. Talk to me about dating in your 50s in general, right? So what is that experience like? What's it like? Look at your face.
Oh, Lord, fix my face. Because my face talks for me. You know what I'm saying? My face just talks. But I will say that it has been quite challenging, only because I've had to kind of like do some soul searching with myself, and really come to terms with what are the things, what really matters to you at this point in terms of dating and having, seeking companionship, friendship. And once I came to terms with what that was going to be, I was like, okay, then, that's, that's how I'm leading. That's how I'm leading it. So as far as like being open, yeah, I'm open. Am I open to anything? Not open to anything. Do I have a list? I don't have a list. I know what it feels like. I know an energy. I know through conversation. I know through, like you said, like you've seen, you do. That's what I know. Mm. And so, I mean, I've been coming across men who say one thing and completely do a whole nother thing. Like they have the script. Like if they were actors, they would be amazing. They got a great script. Unfortunately, they're not able to act it out. At least fully act it out. So without me sounding like I'm bashing, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying I have experienced men that I've come across that speak a good game, but cannot seem to stay on the right path with that.
Listen, when you're talking, I'm chuckling because I'm thinking in my head, if I could say to all the women who are watching right now, wherever they're watching, however they're watching, raise your hand if you know this experience. I think almost all the women who are watching right now would raise their hand and say that at some point in their journey, their dating journey, they've come across men, who present one way, right? But the actuality is totally different. So that's the challenging part. Real quick, real short. Give me what's the best part of dating in your 50s?
Just, knowing that you're comfortable in your own skin, people gravitate towards you, a lot more. And I think it has a lot to do with your confidence and you just being at peace with yourself and that you're being open and you don't take yourself too seriously. So I think that's the best side of it.
Yeah. What's so interesting, I think about what you offer us tonight is you give us an opportunity to really understand that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what we accept from people is what we accept from people, right? And yes. the relationships that we are engaged in are the ones that we help to create, right? We help
Absolutely.
to create. And what I'm hearing from you is that one of the great joys of dating in your 50s, or when you're just a little older than 30 than this one over here, is that you are more in command of what you want to decide. You're more in command of what you're willing to accept and tolerate. Listen, I got to take a break. When I come back, Deirdre, I'm going to ask you to tell me the kind of guy you're looking for, because I want to understand that, and I got some more questions along that line. We're going to take a quick break, but if you can relate to any of this, stick around. It's about to get better. Trust me. I'll be right back. Back, everybody. I'm talking to Deirdre. Deirdre, let me ask you a challenging question, all right? I'm going to push a little bit. Okay. And here's my subtle push. Assess yourself for a second. Why do you think you are attracting those kind of people to you?
Thank you for asking that, because that was one of the other things I was going to mention, that I had to ask myself in my, based off my last relationship. I said, what is it that you did to allow this to happen? Like, I always feel like you have to, it's not always one person's fault. It's both people, and you have to look at yourself and say, what did I do to put myself in this position? Were you overbearing? Were you too attentive? Too vulnerable? What, just a list of things that I had to, have that conversation with myself about. And that's what I did. And so I did see that. I said, in my last relationship, because there was a bit of infidelity involved, and just like I said, lack of urgency. I just felt that maybe I did too much, and I was doing too much. I was doing really way too much. Now that I think about it, like I can say that today, I think then I probably would be in denial and wouldn't be able to honestly say this to you, but I think I was doing way too much. And by
Mm.
when you're doing too much, what ends up happening is that when you start doing too much, you're thinking that everything that you're doing is what's supposed to make someone do the same for you. And it doesn't work that way. Everything that you do is based off of your heart and how you feel about the person. So I'm not going to do the things that I do for my significant other to a stranger that I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So it's like you have to, think about it. If we're together and you're not getting this back, what is that telling you? Does not ring a bell. So that's when you start to say, okay, I've been dealing with this a little too long. Let me let me get clear.
No, no, first of all, if I could give you a standing ovation, I would right now. I love that response. So it makes me ask you this: why do you think, or where did you learn to give too much? How did you learn that?
I think as did I learn from my mom? I could have learned part of it from my mother, from the women in my family, from seeing other women in other relationships, I guess, thinking that that was the best thing to do.
Mm.
Um, that's it. My father was never one who said that you have to just give, give, give. I can thank God he never did that. But I think that's what I just got it from other people,
Mm.
watching them and then thinking that that was the right thing to do.
Mm.
And always, and really, it really has a lot to do with being insecure. If you really think about it, there's an insecurity issue in that when you're doing too much.
Yeah. No.
Because you're doing it because you're doing it for a reason. You're doing it because you want a certain result back. Oh my goodness, so sorry about that.
It's all right. We like dogs on the Book of Sean. We like little
Yeah.
doggies. It's not a problem at all. And so keep the camera on me for a second, because I think what Deirdre is saying and what she's pointing to is a truth that I think that lives with most of us, right?
Right, right.
Is that we think that what we do is going to inspire the other person to do the same,
Yes.
and it's not. Deirdre, say more about that, because that's rich.
Yeah, you can't. It's just it doesn't work that way. You can't do that. You know? Well, if I just gave in a little bit more, if I just cleaned more and cooked more and made dinner every night instead of 3 nights a week, and work a job, 50 hours a week and be tired, and then he doesn't even bother to run you a bath or give you a massage, or you know what I'm saying. But if I just did a little bit more, maybe I'll get something back.
What
And
do
it's
you
like,
know
what is it that
now,
you're searching for?
Deirdre? What do you know now? Like what do you know now about relationships from where you are right now that
Mm-hmm.
changes the trajectory of that behavior?
What I know now is that, you know what, I'm confident in what I have to offer a relationship, but
Mm.
I also have boundaries,
Mm.
and it's okay for me to share those boundaries with who I'm dealing with, because
Yeah.
they need to know as well, and vice versa. I need to know their boundaries as well.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's something I feel that I've learned most, is that I can verbalize how I feel and stand for how I feel.
That's rich.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to know it,
Because you got to
right?
stand in it. You got to stand in it.
That's it.
You could talk about it, but you got to stand in it.
Yeah, I was just listen. You and I simpatico. I was just
Yeah.
about to say it's one thing to know it. It's another thing to stand in it, right? To say no.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I
Mm-hmm.
need. This is what I require. And if you can't do it,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. It,
It's okay. There's no harm, no foul. I'm not going to block you on the phone. I'm not going to, say horrible things. It's totally okay. People, it's okay. Everybody doesn't have to be a part of your life. And if they're there for, like you say, a reason or a season, that's definitely true. And when it comes to men, my thing is, if I know you and I met you and we've, become friends and things don't work out, that doesn't mean I'm telling you to go, go to the high hills of hell. I'm just saying we just can't do we just can't ride the wave together.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We're just not in the same space.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
I have nothing to add to that because you're at a place of clarity. I asked you earlier. I'm gonna go over a little bit so y'all relax in the control room. I asked you earlier what was some of the benefits of dating in your 50s, right? And you just exhibited one of the biggest benefits. The biggest benefit of doing anything in your 50s is that you do it with wisdom, is that you do it with a sense of perspective, right? Is that you know how to assess yourself and you know how to think about yourself, all right? You know what? Don't go away. Don't go away. Stay here because I'm going to keep you over this break. When I come back, I want to do something with you, and then I'll do some Ask Dr. Sean. Is that all right? Will you stay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. Let's take this break. I'm going to keep Deirdre. I want to do some things with Deirdre, and we'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. I'm talking to Deirdre. We've been talking about dating. We've been talking about people, men, women, meeting people and all the complexity that comes along with that. Deirdre, I kept you because a lot of times people come to this show, they come, needing advice and counsel and wisdom, right? And a lot of what I do is sort of just help people sort of figure out what the clarity is, right? What's the clarity? Because we don't have time in the time that I do this show to do counseling, right? But what I can give people is a sense of direction and wisdom. Now, with you, it's a little different because you come to this moment with clarity. You come to this moment with some wisdoms. I'm not entirely sure, and don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not entirely sure if you've been able to act on all the wisdoms that you know, right? And that's true for all of us. But here's what I know for sure. You do have something to say. So here's what I want to do with you, all right? I'm going to feed you some lines, okay? What I want you to do is repeat the line and complete the line over and over again until you get out everything that is in your spirit to say about that. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. Let's let's practice. So if
Okay.
I said today the line is today I ate, you would do what?
Oh, I had some vegetables and some chicken and
Right, exactly.
rice.
But
Vegetables, chicken, rice. Okay.
Got it. But what I want you to do is I want you to repeat and complete. So repeat the line and then complete it. So what you would say is today I ate vegetables, today I ate chicken, today I ate blah blah blah. Got it?
Got you.
Okay, good. Let's do this because this is going to be good. All right. Here's the line that I want you to work with. I will never. Complete and repeat that line. I will never. Go ahead.
I will never doubt myself.
What else?
I will never love someone more than I love myself.
Give me more. That's good. What else?
I will never give more than I need to give. I will never mistreat someone. I will never take someone for granted. I will never pretend. I guess I'll just leave it at pretend, and you can run with that.
That's exactly why I brought you back for that. That is so rich. Woo, that's rich. Okay. So you kind of get how I want to do this, all right? So that's good.
Yeah, I get it.
Here's the next one. I wish I could. Take that and run with it. I wish I could.
I wish I could have been more assertive at a certain point in my life. I wish I could have seen the signs or knew to see the signs sooner. I wish I could have felt the love that I felt the love that I was giving to someone else. I wish I could have taken more vacations.
let's change gears, because you're doing great, and I want to make sure that I have time to get this one in. Sometimes I wish men would.
Sometimes I wish men would be honest without thinking they're affecting the person's feelings. Just being honest, whatever it looks like. I wish men would step up a lot more often, rather than be so afraid of thinking that someone's taking something away from them. Just show up and do what you're supposed to do. I wish men would be more vulnerable. I wish men would be okay with being afraid. I wish men would cry more.
That's rich.
Experience pain, really, and cry. Let it happen. I wish men would talk more. I wish men would be more open. I wish men would value themselves as well while in the process of dating, so they can value the person that they're with. Because I feel when a man doesn't treat you well, it's because they don't value themselves. Same goes for women.
So let's do this. I want women to know that.
I want women to know that it's okay to be vulnerable. I want women to know that it's not okay to be a doormat for someone to walk all over you. I want women to know that they have every level of power, more power than they think. And I want women to know that men do want to be with us. Men do love women, they want us, but we have to be ready for the right person.
Okay, I'm running out of time, so give me three on each. I'm going over. Give me three on each of these, all right? Here's the first one. I am. Go ahead, give me three.
I am God's child. I don't like to use that. I am loving and I am giving.
All right, here's the last one. It's the converse. I am not. Give me three of these.
I am not selfish. I am not self-centered. And I am not to be played with.
Dude, you got to come back and talk to me. I like talking to you.
Anytime. Listen, absolutely.
No. You're going to be all right, because she's got clarity. And when you got clarity, you can have closure. Listen, everybody.
Absolutely.
We're going to do some Ask Dr. Sean right after this. Thank you, Deirdre, for being here. I hope you got something out of that. Listen, she spoke for you or she spoke to you, but she spoke. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. So, Deirdre, right? You know, it's a journey there. It's a journey. You guys always send me great videos. I'm going to do a couple of them right now. Let's do some Ask Dr. Sean. So, let's look at the video.
Hey, Dr. Sean, my name is Uniqua. I'm from the Bronx, and I have a question for you. So for Thanksgiving this year, my boyfriend and I went over to his family's house. Let me add, my boyfriend and I have been together for over a decade, so I'm very familiar with his family. Everything was cool for the most part, but towards the end of the evening, his sister and I ended up getting into an argument. So now Christmas is approaching, and we're having Christmas at my house this year. And I don't know what to do, Dr. Sean. Like, should I invite her? I mean, we haven't spoke since. There hasn't been any apologies exchanged, anything like that. But I'm wondering, like, should I let bygones be bygones for the sake of the kids and the holidays? Or is it my house, my feelings, my rules? Help me out, Dr. Sean. What should I do?
Great question. Thank you for that. And thank you for your New York swagger. I see it all in you. I love it. So here it is. When you are inviting people into your home, into your space, you get to set the terms for that. You get to decide if you want a certain person, a certain kind of person who's presented themselves a certain kind of way in your house. My advice to you is this. If you know yourself to be incapable of functioning the entire holiday, festivity, party, moment, event without being able to directly have a confrontation with her, then you should invite her to your house. If you cannot get through this event and there still be some, you know what I'm saying? If you know this is going to end with y'all getting, then don't do it. Do not invite people into your house who you know ultimately is going to end with you and her having conflict. But that's not my advice. That's my observation. My advice is reach out. My advice is to sort of say, can we have a conversation before we have Christmas? And to see where it goes. It's important that women, particularly black women, be able to forgive each other and forgive themselves and to sort of bury the hatchet, as it were. You're not going to get along with people, and sometimes people are going to get on your nerves. But the sign of maturity and the sign of growth as a black woman is to be able to say, listen, we had our moment, we don't agree now. But it doesn't preclude you from being able to be a part of this family and this celebration. That's where I hope you get to. So I would say reach out. Why haven't you reached out? It's okay to have conflict with people. It's okay to be able to sort of disagree. But if you reach out and she doesn't reach back, then you've done your job. You've done what you needed to do. You follow what I'm saying? And if you reach out and she doesn't communicate, then it's fine with you not inviting her to your home and making it clear, listen, I reached out, you didn't reach back. This ain't a place for that kind of energy in my house. But I would wholeheartedly encourage you to do a little soul searching and go on and reach out and just check in. All right? Let's do another video.
Hi, Dr. Sean. So every year, my mother-in-law pretty much makes me come over during the holidays to learn her recipes, right? The problem is, I don't want to be mean, but I really am not fond for cooking. So how do I express that without being too harsh? Because for me, it's a waste of time, but I don't want to be mean about it.
Okay, good. This is a great question. This is good for you too, by the way. Let me tell you what. It's the mother-in-law, right? So your mother-in-law is not trying to cook. That's not what's happening here. She's trying to build a relationship. I would encourage you to continue to go and don't focus on the cooking. Focus on the eating. And focus on the eating and focus on building a relationship with her. That's what the moment is really about. You don't ever have to be interested in cooking. You don't ever have to want to cook well. You know what I'm saying? But what you have an opportunity to do in this is to see what she's trying to do differently and to embrace the intention, even if you don't necessarily like the process, right? Her way of trying to get to know you better is through this thing that we call cooking. She assumes, apparently, erroneously, that you're into that too. You're not into that, but you can still be into the moment, even if you're not into the activity. Be fully present, listen, love, extend grace and kindness, right? And then, if you're not into cooking and the cooking and the dish don't come out right, what do you care? You know what I'm saying? Are you into eating? Because if you're into eating, then you better go. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I used to do, 2, 3. Whenever I didn't want to do something when I was a kid, I would always act like I wasn't good at it. And you know what my mama would do? She would just take it over. And then it got done right. So I'm just saying, go on over there and act like you don't know what you're doing and let his mama come over there and cook it right. And guess what you get to do? You get to have a better relationship with her, and you get to eat. Don't end the activity. Don't end the activity, because what she's trying to get you to do is not what she's trying to accomplish. Accept the relationship, embrace the outreach, and you guys have a great holiday together. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Deidre came on tonight. She had a lot to say. She has the journey, and she's had a lot of disappointment, and men have not always lived up to her expectations. And that's true for a lot of people, men and women, no matter who you date or how you happen to be connected to them. The reality is this: all of us will have to deal with the things that come along with loving somebody else. It's not going to be easy. So keep going. Sooner or later, you're going to run into the person that you're supposed to be with. Keep your heart open. You hear me? Give people an opportunity to surprise you. And I like what she said tonight. Know exactly what you want and go for it. How about that? Y'all be good to each other, all right? I love you. See you on Thursday.